Being a housewife is certainly not an easy task, especially for a new mom. They often feel overwhelmed by the many household responsibilities they have to bear. As illustrated in this story, a new mom named Kelly felt her life drastically change after getting married and having a child. That night, Kelly felt stressed because her baby kept crying whenever she held him. Feeling increasingly exhausted, Kelly asked her husband, Josh, to hold their baby. Miraculously, the baby immediately calmed down as soon as he was in his father's arms. 6 weeks after their baby was born, Kelly felt the desire to get close to her husband. However, at that moment, Josh seemed unenthusiastic and reluctant to do so. Feeling disappointed and neglected, Kelly quickly went to her room and started fantasizing about a handsome man she saw in a magazine. But even trying to fantasize was difficult for Kelly because her baby continued to fuss throughout the night. The next day, Kelly tried to calm herself in the backyard. Not long after, a young man named Cal came over to greet her. Instead of creating a comfortable atmosphere, Cal greeted her with some rather impolite words. Although Cal was only joking, Kelly, who was in an emotional state, responded by raising her voice. After finding out that her neighbor was in a wheelchair, Kelly felt a bit guilty for snapping at him. That night, Josh suggested his wife take a walk so Kelly could relax a bit more with her life. During the walk, Kelly saw Cal and immediately approached him to apologize for the previous incident. After they made up, Kelly received a call from her mother-in-law, who informed her that they would be coming over for dinner at Kelly's house. Before we continue, let's get to know Kelly's family members. The first one is her mother-in-law, a woman named Bev. Second is her father-in-law, named Bill. And lastly, Josh's sister, named Julie. The next day, Kelly took her child out for a walk again. During their stroll, Kelly heard loud music coming from Cal's house. It turned out the noise was coming from the garage, which Cal had turned into his personal hangout spot. As she approached, Kelly got into a conversation with Cal and realized that although Cal seemed like a troubled kid, he was actually kind-hearted. Unfortunately, life's tough circumstances had shaped him into who he was. Days went by, and Kelly started visiting Cal at his spot more frequently. One day, Kelly saw Cal playing the drums. This brought back memories for Kelly, and she shared that she used to be in a punk band back when she was dating her husband. She added that those were unforgettable times. In fact, Kelly had even recorded an album with her band. After returning home, Kelly dug out her old albums and looked for the band's recording tapes to reminisce. She then showed the tape to Cal, which brought them closer as they bonded over their shared interests. However, Kelly's excitement seemed to go a bit overboard. She decided to dye her hair blue, a drastic change that shocked her family. Kelly's sudden mood swings began to cause concern among them. A few days later, Bev and Julie, her mother-in-law and sister-in-law, came over to Kelly's house. They offered to help take care of her child and assist with other household chores. They also suggested that Kelly take some time to hang out with her friends to relieve the stress and fatigue of her routine as a housewife. Kelly decided to catch up with her old bandmates. That night, when Kelly returned home, her husband surprised her with a romantic gesture, reminding them of the early days of their marriage, as if they were newlyweds again. The next day, Kelly received another surprise from her in-laws, who brought a professional hairstylist to fix her wild hairstyle. The result was that Kelly looked far more attractive than before, even catching the eye of Cal, the young man. One day, Cal invited Kelly to go for a drive in his car. Even though Cal uses a wheelchair, he showed incredible driving skills, expertly handling his vehicle. They enjoyed the ride and decided to stop at a small cafe, where they engaged in a relaxed yet deep conversation. That evening, Cal came to Kelly's house. However, when he arrived, it was Josh who opened the door. Cal showed up looking unusually sharp, wearing a very neat suit that gave him a serious appearance. Cal explained that over the past few days, Kelly had become his mentor, and all the mentors were invited to attend an art performance at his school. Kelly, who knew nothing about this beforehand, could only agree to go along with what Cal was saying. They then went to a school, but once there, things got out of hand. They spray-painted the school walls and blasted loud music in the hall. Their time together that night turned into something hard to define. They indulged in unexpected fun until they were forced to leave because the police arrived. After that night, Kelly began to reflect. She realized that what they did was wrong and shouldn't have happened. Nevertheless, Cal kept texting her, inviting her to have fun again. On the planned day, Kelly intended to talk to Cal about their relationship, which seemed unhealthy. Kelly went to Cal's house but first encountered Cal's mother. His mother explained that lately, Cal had been skipping his medication, which he was supposed to take regularly. While making Kelly his mentor was a good thing, his mother advised Kelly not to get too close and not to give Cal false hope. She emphasized that Cal had suffered enough, and she didn't want to see her son become obsessed with Kelly. Shortly after, Cal appeared and asked his mother to leave them alone. It was clear that the relationship between Cal and his mother wasn't very good. Seeing that Cal was in a bad mood, Kelly took him to the park. There, Cal seemed very comfortable with Kelly's presence. However, Kelly felt that this situation needed to end soon. With great gentleness, Kelly tried to talk to Cal, explaining that his feelings were wrong because she was already married. Cal's reaction wasn't what Kelly had hoped for. He was upset and angry at her statement. Still, Kelly didn't give up. She went back to see Cal, this time bringing special crafting clay, hoping that the creative activity would help Cal find a more positive direction and gradually move on from his feelings. However, Kelly's good intentions were not well received by Cal. Instead, he mocked her by making miniature versions of her personal belongings, an action that clearly upset Kelly as she felt unappreciated. That night, Kelly found Cal staring at her room with an unreadable expression. In the confusion, possibly fueled by mixed emotions, Kelly did something unexpected. She showed off her beauty, almost as if giving a gift to Cal. Perhaps, behind her actions, there was an intention to give something to the young man, whether as a gesture of care or an inexplicable gift. However, this nearly got revealed by her husband, Josh, who that night intended to give a gift as an apology for often neglecting the pressures his wife faced. When Kelly received the gift from her husband, guilt overwhelmed her. She cried in the silence of the bathroom, feeling foolish for having done something so wrong. Her strange behavior left Josh confused. Even though he wasn't the perfect husband, he always tried to make Kelly happy. The next morning, Kelly began to accept her role as a wife and mother more sincerely. However, when she was about to have breakfast, an invitation to an art exhibition suddenly arrived. Kelly immediately realized that the invitation must have come from Cal, who was always trying to get her attention. That evening, Kelly decided to attend the art exhibition. There, she found a statue carved by Cal, which bore a striking resemblance to her. Unfortunately, Josh also saw the statue and immediately recognized that it perfectly mirrored his wife's body shape. Josh's anger erupted, and he accused Kelly of doing something inappropriate with the young man. Kelly tried to deny her husband's accusations, but in her frustration, she ended up accusing Josh of often coming home late because he was cheating with his secretary. The accusations only worsened their argument. As a result, Josh decided to go to his parents' house, taking their baby with him, giving Kelly time to reflect on her mistakes. The problems didn't stop there. Kelly received news from Cal's mother that her son had gone missing, and she pleaded with Kelly to find him. Feeling responsible for the mess, Kelly immediately set out to look for Cal. Eventually, Kelly found Cal on the side of the road, holding the statue he had made, looking very sad. With great patience, Kelly tried to persuade Cal to talk. She knew that behind all of this, Cal was actually a good kid, but circumstances had left him desperate. Their initial meeting, which gave Cal hope, had gradually turned into an obsession. However, that night became a turning point for both of them. They realized each other's mistakes. Cal promised to bury his feelings that shouldn't have existed, while Kelly decided to go to Josh's house and apologize. As a result, Josh, who had always loved Kelly, eventually accepted her apology, and they both decided to live together, each complimenting the other's shortcomings. That's our story for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.